So around 5 months ago, I had one of the worst trading weeks of my entire life. I was down thousands, I was frustrated, and I was ready to give up with trading. And I was just sat there thinking that trading isn't for me. And I was ready just to become part of that stat where it says 90% of traders fail. But what I didn't realize then was that week would become the reason that I'm still trading today. So like always, it started with just one loss, then another, then another. Every setup I took failed. I'd close one trade early and then it would go straight to my take profit. I'd set another trade and it would just fly up to my stop loss. And everything I was doing was just failing. And that's the classic emotional spiral with trading. I was over leveraging, I was over trading, I was over risking and trying to make back everything I lost just within one single day. I hit all my max down draws on my funded accounts and I lost every penny in my live account. And I just thought, that's it, game over. So on that week, after losing everything, I believe it was a Thursday, I had no plan left, I had no structure, just pure frustration. And to make it worse, at that time, I was doing a sales job. So because I spent so much time focusing on trading, my income from my job, because it was in sales, dramatically decreased as well. So I just closed my laptop, I went to work and just told myself that I'm not built for this. And I was thinking about all the people who I thought did make it within trading. And I just thought that they all must be scammers. They must be course sellers. And they must be getting money from other ways because trading, it just doesn't work. So after feeling like this for a few days, to be honest, over the weekend, I really sat back and tried to think of what exactly went wrong. So on that weekend, something clicked. I opened the charts again. I opened all my data logs from all my trades. And I just started to look at every single thing I did in detail. Not to beat myself up, but just to see what I was doing and just trying to understand it as well. And I was thinking, and the reason I was trading then was for the rush of trading, not for the setup. I wasn't trading like a professional at all. I was trading like a gambler. I was trading like I had to make $1 million overnight, just to prove to myself and people around me, just to prove a point about trading. So that day I told myself, if I'm gonna do this again, I'm gonna have to do it right. And from that moment, everything changed. So I decided to take a week, 2 weeks off of trading without putting any trades in, without trying to fund my live account again, and without trying to buy another challenge account. So during that week, I built a set of rules that I would actually follow this time. I brought myself a book to journal every single trade in, and not just the trade, but how I felt, how well I followed my rules, and my emotions throughout the whole trade, before, during, and after. So once I did all this, I took everything straight back to basics. I went back to demo. So I traded for a few weeks, and my results completely flipped. I followed all my rules, I journaled every trade, and I stopped doing things like revenge trading, over risking, over leveraging. And yes, I understand that's on a demo account. With demo accounts, no emotion is attached to them. So yes, it is easier to hold a winning trade if it's going slightly back down to say your entry point. Instead of cutting it early, you kind of let it go through. But what that taught me is the majority of the time, you don't need to adjust your take profit. You don't need to adjust your stop loss. You just need to take a step back and trust yourself when you had a clear mind before the trade. From then on, the last 5 months, I have been trading with those exact rules. I may have tweaked a few things slightly, but they're all pretty much the exact same rules what I wrote myself 5 months ago. And the best thing is, they're really simple and easy rules. All they are is just one trade per day, 1% risk per day, no FOMO, A+ setups only, or I feel like there's potentially not a setup happening that day, just walking away. And they're really, really simple rules to follow. And these are rules that you get told time and time again. And they're rules that I've given myself for 3 years. but you just don't follow them because you've got no punishment for when you do break one of your rules. And that's why you guys can't get out of over trading, over risking, over leveraging, getting FOMO, because there's no one to tell you not to break your rules. Because like most people, you feel like rules are there, rules are meant to be broken. But when it comes to trading, you've got to trust your mind when you wasn't in a trade, when your mind was clear. And looking back now, those few weeks 5 months ago completely changed the trajectory of my trading. It taught me that you need to be broken down before you can start to rebuild properly. What I mean by this is, if you guys are currently profitable but not following your rules, you're not gonna start following your rules until you have this big loss. Because it's easy to trade when everything's going right, when you're winning every trade. But when things start to go wrong, when you start to lose, that's when you know that you need to act. And you need to act straight away. So if you're gonna take anything away from this video, please just follow your rules. You'll become a much better trader, and trading will become so much easier. Because so what if you lose 1% in a day? Doesn't matter. Go to sleep, have a nice rest of your day, go out with your friends, and it's not gonna be in the back of your mind. But if you lost 5-10% in a single day, if you're trading funded, well, the funded's over. And if you're trading a live account, that loss is going to be in the back of your head constantly, and you're going to feel shit about yourself. So it honestly makes your trading so much easier when you start following the rules that you set yourself. And look at all the bigger traders, people like TJR, people like Alex G, Lambo Rahul. They all have their own rules, and they're never going to be completely the same, but they all follow them, and they're all profitable. And my best advice is take a few weeks out of trading real funds, go back to demo, be really strict with your rules, and it's going to be killing you because you're going to want to be making real money, and you know that the demo money isn't real, but you need to take a step back to make 2 steps forward. And if I didn't do that today, I wouldn't be here trading full-time in Dubai, where I was lucky to quit my job to do this full-time. So yeah, if you're at this stage right now, don't doubt yourself, don't feel frustrated, just strip it all the way back to basics, because it can really turn around faster than you think. And that bad week you potentially just had or are currently having could be the turning point of your trading journey. So thank you very much for watching. It would mean a lot if you can like and subscribe, and also comment anything down below which you think I didn't cover or you potentially want answers to. I've also put a link to the live broker that I use, which is XNES, and the prop firm that I use, which is FTMO. So if you want to jump onto any of those, feel free to click the link. And again, thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best with your trading journey.